but nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filly. You're a bigger than they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all.
He's been stacking up some serious receipts on victims of Diddy's wild freak-offs. And the first name he's dropping is Bryshere Gray. Bryce been at the center of this freak-off talk for a minute now, especially after Jaguar jumped in and claimed his own mama sold him to Diddy for $10 million and a book deal. Wild, right? Bryce even tried to fight back by hitting Diddy and Will Smith with a $50 million lawsuit, but they shut that down real quick, buried it so deep nobody even saw it, then called him crazy to make him look bad. But Orlando ain't letting that slide easy. Nah, he's out here airing out the whole mess. People been whispering about Bryce for years, but his name popped back up again when his Empire co-star Terrence Howard did an interview and dropped some shocking claims. He talked about young dudes in the game who ain't been the same since they spread their cheeks wide open for Diddy to do his thing. He didn't say Bryce's name straight up, but folks swear he was hinting at him.
Lose your man card. That's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Well, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bryshere Gray. Left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed.
The timeline fits too. Bryce's alleged run-ins with Diddy and Will happened while he was still shining on Empire. After that, his whole life spiraled. He got hooked on substances, lost all his gigs, and even ended up acting in gay adult films. This whole story just keeps getting messier by the minute. In Terrence's interview, he even said the men who messed with Diddy got straight up turned out. If 1 + 1 = 2, then everybody's guessing Terrence was really throwing shade at Bryshere without actually dropping his name. Jaguar Wright was the first to blow the lid off what was happening to Bryce. She straight called out Diddy and Will for allegedly running this fake mentorship program just to lure young dudes into shady and unwanted situations. After Bryce's ties with Diddy got cut, he was never the same again. His whole life spiraled out of control, bouncing in and out of jail, drowning in trouble. Imagine, from being a star on one of the biggest shows on TV at just 17 to crashing all the way down to nothing but a washed-up Hollywood cautionary tale. In 2022, he even got arrested and convicted for aggravated assault on a woman he was hooking up with at the time. But that wasn't even his first run-in with the law. Back in 2020, his wife ran to a nearby station begging for help, saying Bryce had strangled her and kept putting hands on her till she was blacking out over and over. When cops rolled up to his crib to arrest him, Bryce refused to come outside. It took hours of tense back and forth just to get him out. This whole saga just keeps getting darker.
Kick you in your and I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You CI.
Do you feel this is...
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe, to be ready for filming. She knew what Will did to him.
The SWAT team even had to step in just to get Bryce out of that house. Things got wild that day. Not long after, Jaguar Wright came back and spilled even more shocking details about what really went down with Bryce. She confirmed the whispers about his manager at the time, Charlie Mack, being the middleman, hooking Bryce up with the folks who were allegedly putting hands on him. But here's where it got even crazier. Jaguar dropped another bomb, saying the only reason Charlie could pull all this off was because Bryce's own mom, Andrea Mayberry, was in on it too. Yeah, she allegedly let it all happen. According to Jaguar, back when everything was going down, Andrea even came to her begging for help. Jaguar said she told Andrea straight up, get Bryce away from Charlie Mack, since he was the one connecting Bryce to Diddy. But Andrea didn't do a thing. She just let it all keep happening, allegedly letting Diddy and Will keep messing with her son until there was nothing left of him. By then, Bryce was already broken, using substances just to numb the pain. Jaguar also claimed that Bryshere's been talking to lawyers, trying to file a big lawsuit against Will and Diddy for what they allegedly did to him. She said Bryce been at it for a while now, but he still can't find a solid lawyer, because the industry is working overtime to shut him up.
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe, to be ready for filming. She knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is, she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gate. You and Charlie Mack.
But wait, it gets even wilder. Jaguar dropped another bombshell, saying there's a secret tape out there. According to her, this tape shows Justin Bieber, Will, Jaden, Diddy, and Bryce all caught up in one of those freak-offs. And she swears she's one of the few who's actually seen it. And just when it felt like this story couldn't get any darker, Orlando Brown jumped in to back up the claims about Diddy messing with Bryce. See, just like Bryce, Orlando was once at the top of the game, shining as a kid star, before Diddy allegedly ruined him too. He was the lead on Disney's hit show, That's So Raven, but soon as it ended, his whole career crashed. He later got busted for a DUI in 2011 and sat in jail for 27 days. This whole saga is straight up heartbreaking and messy. After Orlando failed to prove he completed his 180-day court-ordered alcohol class, things got even messier. He landed in more legal trouble. But the real shocker came in 2014 when an audio leak hit the internet, catching him allegedly threatening a woman and her whole family. That was the breaking point. He checked into rehab in 2016, but the peace didn't last. He spiraled right back into heavy substance use and ended up getting arrested again in 2018, this time for drug possession. And during that same wild interview, Orlando came for Diddy hard. He claimed Diddy got involved with him when he was still young and new to the game, trying to pull him into his freak-off circle too. Orlando didn't stop there. He said the reason powerful industry folks like Diddy keep getting away with this stuff is because the parents are often in on it too. According to him, some parents look the other way in exchange for big money. And get this, He's not the only one saying it. Other stars have told the same story. And just like Orlando, they got labeled crazy. One of them is Corey Feldman, another child star who ended up dealing with some deep trauma too.
Him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor cab was sponsored by Johnson and Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
Oh,
All
yeah,
that
yeah.
talent, all that talent, and she let Charlie tune that boy up on, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filth. You're a big old and they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all. I'm sorry. The Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Belial and I asked Belial to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his book.
Corey's claims got brushed off too, with folks saying it was just his addiction talking, like he was making it all up for clout. But in 2020, he dropped a documentary called My Truth, where he boldly name-dropped everybody he said assaulted him, including actor Charlie Sheen and talent manager Marty Weiss. What's even wilder is that Corey's ex-wife Susie Feldman and his Lost Boys castmate Jamison Newlander actually backed him up, saying they witnessed some of it go down. So it ain't shocking that Orlando is the one out here speaking up for Bryce now. He's lived through the same nightmare. If anyone knows what Bryce is feeling, it's Orlando. People had plenty to say about it too, like one person who posted, "Bryce was so good on Fox's Empire, I had no idea what he was going through." Another said, "I thought after Empire, we'd see Bryshere Gray everywhere, but instead he just vanished." The streets are finally starting to connect the dots on what really happened to these young stars. And it's heartbreaking. And now, more people are starting to come forward, backing up what Bryce and Orlando have been saying all along. Social media has been buzzing with stories from folks claiming they too were lured into Diddy's so-called mentorships, only to end up in situations they never agreed to. One anonymous former assistant even dropped a comment saying, "What Bryce went through is real. I saw the parties with my own eyes, and they don't let you leave once you're in." That sent shockwaves through the comments section. Meanwhile, industry insiders are whispering that even more tapes exist. Not just the alleged one with Bieber, Jaden, and Bryce, but other recordings showing big names caught up in these freak-offs too. People are now questioning how much longer these secrets can stay buried when the evidence is starting to pile up. And through it all, Orlando keeps doubling down, saying he refuses to be silenced, and he's ready to drag everyone into the light.
You gave me the ooshkash goosmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You gave me the ooshkash muash. I love it, yo. I love it. You gave me the ooshkash muash.
And
That ooshkash muash. You know what I'm talking about, Diddy? Diddy. God.
Fans are stunned, with one posting, "If half of this is true, Hollywood is way darker than we thought." Another simply wrote, "This is sick. but it explains everything. And just when it seemed the drama couldn't get any heavier, Jaguar Wright came back swinging with even more shocking claims. This time, she said there are powerful fixers in the industry. People whose only job is to cover up these freak-offs, silence victims, and make sure the star's clean images stay untouched. Jaguar claimed she personally knew one of these fixers who bragged about how many tapes, NDAs, and payoffs they've handled over the years. She even said some victims were paid millions just to disappear, while others who refused the hush money were painted as crazy or addicts, so no one would believe them. At the same time, fans started digging up old interviews of Bryce where he looked nervous, dodged certain questions, and even hinted that Hollywood ain't what it seems. Now, people are watching those clips with fresh eyes, saying the truth was right there all along. One fan posted, "We thought he fell off. Turns out they pushed him off." Another said, "These stories been in our faces. We just didn't want to believe it." This whole scandal is snowballing fast, and it looks like the cover-up is finally cracking. As the heat keeps rising, more celebrities are starting to quietly distance themselves from Diddy and the rest of the names tied to these allegations. Fans noticed that some big names who used to party at his events suddenly stopped showing up, unfollowed him on socials, and even deleted old pictures with him. One insider claimed, "They all know what time it is. The walls are closing in, and nobody wants to go down with him." That one comment set the internet on fire, with people speculating about who might be next to get exposed. Meanwhile, Orlando dropped yet another bombshell during a live stream, saying there are still more victims who are too scared to speak up because they've seen what happens to people like Bryce and himself when they do. He warned, if you come for them, you better be ready. They don't play fair.
Things that made its rounds all over the internet, went completely viral, was some things you had to say about Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
And there was also, shortly after that, there was an old video that was kind of going viral. And it was 50 Cent, and where he says he was at a party with Diddy. And he was mad at Diddy because Diddy offered to take him shopping. And he felt like that was only something like you would do for a female.
He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. What did it take to go shopping? What an idiot for turning him down.
So you're not turning Diddy down if he wants to take you shopping?
We going shopping, bro. We going shopping. But at the party, I'm going to be in my corner with my little shot of Ciroc, and you have your fun, bro. I'm chilling. I'm chilling, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I deserve to be there. But other than that, I'm cool, bro. Y'all have y'all fun, man. Y'all chilling. I'm knowing what's going on. Y'all chill. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Fans couldn't stop talking about it, with one writing, "Everybody's quiet now. That says a lot." Another posted, "This is starting to look like just the tip of the iceberg." It's clear now, Hollywood's dark side isn't just a rumor anymore, and everybody's watching to see who gets exposed next. And just when people thought the dust was starting to settle, another shocking twist dropped, this time involving alleged threats. According to a close source, Bryce has been receiving mysterious calls and messages warning him to stay quiet or else. One of his friends even shared a post saying Bryce don't even answer unknown numbers no more. He's scared for real. That sent fans spiraling, with many saying it proves he's telling the truth. Why threaten somebody if they're just making it up? Meanwhile, Jaguar claimed in another interview that certain media outlets have already been paid off to bury this whole story and discredit anyone speaking out. She said, "They control the press, the lawyers, even the cops. That's why it's so hard to fight back." Fans started noticing how quickly stories about Bryce and Orlando get deleted or buried under other gossip. One person tweeted, "Every time we start talking about this, something random pops up to distract us. It's all planned." Now more and more people are demanding answers, with hashtags like #justice for Bryce trending. And the pressure on Hollywood's elite keeps building with every passing day. But now I really want to hear from you. What do you think about Bryce getting caught up with those industry creeps? And do you believe Orlando when he says he went through the same twisted stuff? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Don't hold back. And hey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your people so everyone sees what's really going on out here. Click right here to check out another messy story, and I'll catch you on the next one.